folks, so we're going to do something a little bit different here. I know I said I was probably only going to be doing one video a week. I'm actually going to be doing two. I'm going to do one with my story mode game playthroughs, and the other is going to be for my multiplayer. Currently right now I do not have any Xbox Live Gold membership. And one of my friends, I know quite a few of you are probably going to be asking later on, Silent, how'd you do the video? Like, how'd you get your intro put down? To be honest, I wasn't even really aiming for any of the beats to match up with some of the shots that I sank, and it turned out way better than I was expecting it to. I could thank Mocha, no copyright, or copyright-free music. They were actually really nice and even wished me the best of luck, and I appreciate that when I told them that I was trying to make my YouTube channel. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I edited the intro. Mind you, I wound up doing the intro after I did the 2-hour long campaign. And so I'm basically, when I got this laptop, it is an Acer Nitro 5, the AMD Ryzen 5 version of it. It's got a GTX 1060, I believe, for the graphics card. And when I got this, it came with this free software called Power Director for Acer. And like I said, it was the second time that I utilized this program and came up with the intro. So from here we can import our we have an option when we go up to file to import, and then we can insert media files. So I can go over here and I can select the video footage that I have. So none of this is really what this is all the stuff that I have fully edited and whatnot, at least for the most part. Some of these are actually the recordings from the video footage that I've actually completed, which is down here. So we're going to go over to here to this PC. Okay, give me a moment, folks. I'm going to switch on the external hard drive here. I've only got about 1.5 terabytes in this laptop, so I have to have a dock for an external, which is about 4 terabytes, which is freaking awesome. So I can go to here, and I have all my video footage from either my pre-recordings, before I got my microphone, and from when I had the Xbox One clip recordings, which is actually fairly nice. So I've got quite a bit of footage here, as you can see, that I planned on working with. So I selected all the files that were pertinent to this intro. So we're going to go up to here, go to import. So once we have found the video files that we need, I actually had to lump this all together. When I first started recording, I was getting all my video footage that I possibly could off my Xbox One captures. Luckily, I was actually able to have access to it. So once you have it located, so basically this PC and my external over here, and then we selected this. This was the original file that I used. Like I said, this was way back in the day, like when I was actually really heavy into the video games, especially after I did my pre-order for Star Wars Battlefront 2. And when I was still playing the Master Chief Collection. Fun fact, I wound up playing... I remember doing it before on the original Xbox and on my 360. I do not remember, ever since I got a hold of the Master Chief Collection, remember playing Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition on Legendary. It must have been fairly traumatic for me to have sat here and tortured myself and forced myself to play through it on Legendary and completely forget it, because I had not played any video games in probably about a year since then. It's actually been about 2 for me since I have played an actual video game. So we're gonna go ahead and select this and drag it down to here, and it's going to give you this. So the best way to get around this, because if you don't do it, it's most likely going to just crap out your entire video quality, and I'm actually going to try this here. So as you can see, we have all the frames down here, and it has all the sound file here. So basically what you want to do, in order to make sure that you have very decent, is you want to have it selected to real-time preview, and you want to go over to here, preview quality, HD resolution. Let me show you what happens when you don't have this one. When I had it selected to this, I guess I got my settings right. It got real grainy. I couldn't really make out some of the words that were happening here. So let's go to high. See, that's what it was looking like originally. It was not good. So we're going to go back over here, switch it over to this, and picture quality has improved, but not the greatest. I'm actually going to go over here to produce, because this is how you finalize it and whatnot. See, the picture quality here actually looks fairly decent, so I can just go over here and click play, and yeah, it actually looks pretty clean, pretty smooth. So obviously it did the buffering and all that. It actually looks fairly decent in this format, and I appreciate it. So what we're going to do is go back over here to edit, and then there's this tool, or this ability, the scissors. Trim all the unwanted portions. Now I have quite a bit of footage going through here, and what we're going to do, actually that's not what I needed. We're going to click onto this, and it's going to take a minute depending on how powerful your computer is and what kind of rendering quality you actually have. Mine, it obviously needs to be optimized in the worst of ways. So there we are. I have the full video here, and this slide here basically lets you jump through the frames and get your arrow dead center of that section, or at least close to it. So you can come over here, and normally it starts off on single trim, which means you can just take that piece of that footage, but we're not doing that. We're going to go over here to multi-trim, and we're already having issues. Nope, there we go. So with that being said, what you want to do, and this is going to help you out quite a bit, is use the slider. This will get you a general approximate area of the video footage. So once you have that, you can drag it back to about here, wait for the flames to catch up on it. It's not going to be 100% exact. So this is about where we want it, almost. We're looking at the little buffering thing at the bottom, so we can basically just select this right here, right? And that's about where we want it. So remember that little tick mark next to that arrow. Drag it on over to that tick mark. Once we have that, we can take this yellow mark right here and drag it on over. And we can drag it back, and as we're dragging it back, it's going to show us all this video footage here, and we can go past that. And then once we're in here, it shows it down here at the bottom. So that's pretty cool. So we can drag it on over to about here, and then we can bring our mouse down, manipulate it better without it being jumpy all over the place. Occasionally it takes it a while for it to catch up with the frame that you're in. Come on. So what you want to do is drag it back to about here, to the beginning of that clip. And then once you do that, you can basically just sit here and watch the footage to make sure it gets to the right ending of that clip. And when that's done, it's going to jump back from the end of that clip to the beginning. And now after that, after we go through this, was not expecting to get that shot. Now that's still pretty freaking good. Okay, so now once we have that, right, we have that backed up, we saw that it jumped a little further than what it was supposed to. So click here, drags it back, but we're not going to sit here through that entire thing. So I'm going to click play on this, and it's going to go through what we got left here. Okay, so you want to press pause at around the end of that segment, right? Once you press pause, you can drag this back. Remember where the tip of that arrow is. That's where you want to cut off for that segment. So we're going to bring it back. It's having a little difficulties trying to keep up and render, obviously. It took me about 24 hours to try to figure this software out and how to operate it. But once that is done, once you have your footage selected, that clip pretty much finished out. Because it took me multiple times to try to get this right. And then it bounces back. Normally it's supposed to bounce this back to right about here, but it's not. So we're gonna, oh, no, something else. It was on original, so it kept starting back at the beginning of it. So what we can do, now something else that you're gonna notice, and this is driving me crazy because I couldn't figure it out for a good minute, is whenever you press play, it starts it back at the beginning here. So once that happens, we're going to drag it over to here. Still playing. So that was our clip. Now it bounces back to the first yellow marker. Once that is done and set up, then you can pan through using this slide tool here to basically navigate to your next major clip. Now I had multiple clips in here, and so for example, we want to be like right about here, I think, right? We're going to drag it back to here. Now, this here, this is your beginning mark. Press that, it creates another mark. Remember, you got to be in multi-trim in order to get this. So this will allow you to do multiple selections and allow you to cut it down and edit it down. So now, notice when I put this mark here and I have the arrow out, it's not showing anything else. I have to go off the frames here unless I click on original. And even then, it's still iffy on whether it wants to show that or not. So we're going to put it back to the output. Now, what we can do here is drag the arrow back over to here or so. Right? Once we have that, we click on this other one, which is the ending of that segment. It's going to render, it's going to count, and as you notice, in the right little box over here, it's going to add another segment. Those are the video clips that you have accessed out of it. So, what we're going to do is bring the arrow back over to here, press the play, watch it through, figure out where it begins, figure out where it ends. Okay, so this isn't exactly all of it here. I wasn't expecting to get a headshot with that either. Now, the problem when you don't have, like whenever you play it or press play, and you go to adjust the mark, again, remember to press the pause button, otherwise it just jumps it all over the place. So, our arrow is set up, press the play button, buffering. So, once it starts buffering or finishes, that's when you want to pause it. Remember where that mark is, the tip of the arrow there, right? And drag it to about there. And then once you have that done, then you can press the play option again. Now, with this being said, I had a number of clips from this. I had probably about 8 to 11 of these clips. So, once you're done with that, you have it figured out to the end of each clip. So like here, I'm going to pause it because that's the end of the actual clip, the recording. Again, remember where the top of this arrow is. Bring it back. And then, after that, we're going to go ahead and move ourselves on down. Yeah, okay. So then, after this, like I said, I have had multiple clips. I was not and with all that said, I wasn't sure that this was going to turn out so well. In fact, I didn't believe it was going to turn out so well, and yet the intro, quite a few of my friends actually liked it. Bring this back, put down another marker, and then drag this to over about here, put another marker, and drag the arrow back, and press play. Okay, obviously I went too far back with this, so what I'm going to do here is once it starts playing, boom, pause. Again, tip of the arrow, tick mark. If you can't remember, get it as close as you possibly can. So, now we have that selected. We can press play and it'll automatically just do that. Or it'll automatically just go from the mark that you have made, and then wait for the end of that, find the best stopping point, which is about there. So then drag it on back, drag this on back to about close to it, and then so that's about where you want to be. Press pause again, because if it jumps back, it's going to jump this entire thing here back to the beginning. So once you do that, you can move forward, and then you can select from your next clip and all of that. Right, I've got quite a bit of footage here from back in the day, Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2. So once you have all of this set up, mind you, so we're going to go ahead and press OK on this just to give you a general idea. So notice how it's not as long anymore. I do not have any of the other footage from the other stuff. But if you want to tweak it and add that stuff in, watch this. Press the scissor button, and it'll have access to the rest of the footage right back here. And you have all of that to play with still. Does not get rid of that footage. Keeps the video until you press the produce button. We'll get into that later. So basically what wound up happening, again, putting that song in and getting all the frames synced up, that was purely accidental. I was not aiming for any of that. And then when I reviewed it after I went through and had all my clips selected, and I literally mean all of them. I'm going to go ahead and go to the output. Let's put us back to here. And I panged through all of this. And again, I had probably a good 15 clips or so, and I dropped it down to about 8, maybe less. But yeah, once you have all that finished out and you want to add your music, mind you, when you add music, I cannot stress this enough, and I'm pretty sure you've heard it from other YouTubers as well. Copyright strikes are real. I have not had one yet. I do not plan on having one yet, and I appreciate the support of Mocha No Copyright Music. They're a pretty good channel. Like I said before, had a pretty good discussion with them. Managed to get things sorted out. Again, I appreciate you, Mocha. I'm not sure if you're actually watching this or hearing this, but again, I appreciate you. So, also, another shout out to my landlords, giving me an opportunity and chance to actually work with them and for them. They still have those units open from what I understand. Apartment 20 and apartment 13 at the Sombra Apartments. The realty company that you are looking for is Keystone Property, Keystone Realty. Keystone Properties, I believe. Keystone Property LLC. They got a studio, and they've got a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Again, shout out to these landlords. They are awesome. They're absolute beasts. They get the stuff done. And they hold up to their word. Okay, so we're going to get back on with this. Just want to give that quick shout out to them. And media files. So once you want to put in your music and whatnot, let's say we already have all our video footage, right? All it takes is a little bit of finesse to try to get this going. So you select the video file or the music file that you want, and it adds it in up here. Once you have that in there, you can drag it down and it adds it into this. Okay, so you don't want to drop it up here, because then that replaces any and all the sound there, any and all. So you want to drop it down to your second one that you got here. Okay, this is the track that you want. Once you have that, right, you can, and you have all your video footage. Okay? I'm actually going to do something else right quick before we continue. And we're going to, well, that's nice to know. I would have loved to have learned about this. Okay. Every time I've tried to find a way to edit the audio in the in this program, couldn't figure it out. Kept telling me that I had to go upgrade to the premium package, which is just lovely, just lovely. So, obviously, obviously you could do that if you have the music file selected. So, what we want is the video file selected, and press on the trim. Okay? Now, whichever video clip that you click on is going to be the one that's selected. So, we know that we were quite a ways back over this way. So, we're going to find an undesirable, right? An undesirable clip. We're going to move it to about here, and we can drag it back. Just drag it back, drag it back, drag it back. Now again, we can view it through this, the original clips, by having the original selected. So, we can start it right here. I believe this is one of my undesirable pieces of footage. So, we're going to select this, and then we're going to move our arrow down to here. Actually, this was one of my desirable pieces. So once we have that selected, we can put this here, and then we can play this over here, and once we have the video footage selected the way we want, we can edit it to right about, so I'm going to pause it right here, and I'm going to drag it to right about where it was. Again, obviously, I know I'm reiterating a lot of the stuff that I've already said. I'm being redundant about this. So, we want that. And then we have that selected. So, we can drag it on back to here, because this was going to be in right about where we are here. This was going to be included in the original intro, but I completely clipped it. I got rid of it. It was taking up too much time, because the song is only about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, right? So you want to try to meet your video footage with the audio file you have selected. So let's see here. We're going to place that there, and then we're going to drag it on this way. Come on. Pick it up. So and that's about where we want it. So we're going to put the ending of that there, and then we're going to go ahead and press OK. So basically what you want to have happen, right? Because now, mind you have a nice little lock here. This makes sure that this portion, this upper portion of the film, so your footage, that stays locked. It does not let you alter. So let me click on this, See, it gives me options and whatnot. I did a left click on that. So that being said, I go and click that lock. Guess what? I'm left clicking it. It's not giving me an option to get rid of it. So there are certain pieces that you want to keep, or you don't want to accidentally mess up. And that's a good way of doing it. You can also do that with your audio as well, if you choose to, or you can completely get rid of it. So this is basically saying, yeah, I want this to actually go, or you don't want it to go, I'm guessing. Okay, I'm not sure if that's blaring through the mic and causing an echo for you guys. I apologize. Actually, we're going to leave that up, but we're going to go to over here. You can also adjust your volume as need be. And as you see, I was just seeing how this video footage can be used. Wasn't expecting some of it to turn out the way it did. And so that is one of the pieces there, and I didn't exactly like it, so what we're going to do is come up to over here and remove. Right, it's going to give us an option when we delete it to remove and leave gap, remove and fill gap, or we can do fill all gaps and remove all clips. So what we could do, I believe I did this last time, and it just drafted down to here, and I wound up doing the same thing with this clip here, because it was taking up too much time. I didn't want to, it to go past the video, because by the time I finished selecting all the clips, it was drawn out to here, and my sound file was here for the actual end, but for the end of the audio file, but the actual end of it is way back here. So when I finished up with this, we're actually just going to go ahead and, so what you want to do after you have all that figured out and whatnot, you can come over to here, click the produce. Now you can have this selected, but in my opinion this did not make the video footage any better, so it just made it look really grainy. Yeah, see, it looks really grainy to me. So I came over to here, selected MKV, I selected this, and when I did so, it actually looked a lot better. So I'm gonna have to go and redo the footage later on, but plan on keeping it for a good long while. Also, I plan on I managed to get in contact with a group and artist called OnLap. I'm not sure if you heard of them. They got some pretty good music too. And one of their songs that I plan on using, that they gave me full permission to use. I do not own it. I'm never going to claim that I do. But I do appreciate the fact that they are willing enough to let me use the song in my videos or even in my intros. They were just so nice about it. So I'm actually going to go up over here and pull it all up. Okay, so when I was talking with them, I originally left this message with them, and I wasn't sure if they were going to respond. They were super nice, super polite, and I just, yes, all is written in the description. We are glad that you like our music. Hey, you guys do some amazing music, and I appreciate it. the fact that you guys are letting me do it. And then I replied back, thank you so much, so I'm allowed to use this for some of my epic moments. And they're like, yeah. I was like, all right. And then I followed up with, I appreciate it. I let them know, hey, yo, the first time making a video, first time doing anything, and here we are. And I think in my next campaign story mode video that I release, I'm actually going to include it. I'm still trying to get in contact with quite a few of other artists for like songs that I can use in games like Red Dead Redemption 2, any of the other Halo games. I'd love to be able to get I'd love for people to be able to send me music that I can use without getting in trouble for, because I hear that's one of the big major things that people are getting in trouble for when it comes to their YouTube channel. So I'd love to be able to use music without getting like demonetized. I'm just now starting. I'm barely even making it right now, and the fact that these guys were like, hey, yeah, go for it, I was like, alright, cool, I appreciate it, guys. So you notice right here, this is my secondary account. It was my primary due to the fact that I used it for like all my personal playlists, all the music that I liked and whatnot. I would share that, but I wouldn't get any view time for it. I wouldn't get, you know what, I might actually do that. We get up to about 1,000 subscribers, I will put together some playlists. I will set this up over on that channel, but I will not try to get any monetization on it. This is all from other people, so any subscriber counts that I get from that is not going to be, I'm not going to get paid for it, like, at all. So 1,000 subscribers, I start up that whole playlist, or playlists, that way I can try to show you guys about where my brain functionality is, because apparently it ain't all that great today, or any day given. So we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, but this is your proof here that they were like, hey, again, I appreciate you guys, big shout out to you. I'll be seeing you guys around. So with that being said, I have this selected, and then if you guys have the fully upgraded version where you're allowed to have a lot of the formats and video formats, because I tried selecting some of this, and so like 28 megabits per second, I'm guessing, I had that selected and I tried to start. Holy crap, it's actually working. Last time it told me I had to upgrade and whatnot, but we're actually not going to cancel that, because I want to see how good this footage really is with that format. Also, something else you guys might have noticed about when it's producing is it locks down everything, even the X button here, so you can't really screw this up. So, and then once that is done, it's going to say movie complete. Now we've got to go try to hunt down that video footage. Luckily for us, we know just the place to go. Okay, so something else that you guys might want to look into and check in on is where it puts the output folder, and that gave me some difficulty here. You want to click on those 3 dots there before you go and make anything, but then you want to go and change it over to whatever storage device you got, so Acer, Storage D, Storage Z, any of that. So you can use that also as reference as to if you forgot where you put the video footage. So once you have it located and through CyberLink, because that's the company that owns Power Director, you can go into here and Okay, that's odd. Here it is. So, what you want to do in order to test out the quality is have your video player selected, right? Mine is Windows, Microsoft, movies and TV. So you can left click, open with, choose what you want it to open with. If you got VLC or movies and TV, those are the ones that you are most likely going to be using. Unless you have something else. So as you can see, the video footage here isn't exactly the greatest, even with me. But part of that is probably because of the fact that the clips that I was using or that I was trying to capture, they couldn't exactly buffer anything higher than probably about 480p. 720p I'm lucky to be able to get away with on YouTube from time to time, because again, I'm on a hotspot, folks. I'm on a hotspot. I've got no other form of internet. So 480p, and that was what I was able to record at. And then with that said, once you do that, you can exit out of this, and then you can close out of this, and or you can leave that up. You can leave that up so you can navigate it to it better. You can delete that file because you're not going to need it, and then you can go back over to here and edit it and trim back what you need, add in what you want. That makes it into the file that or the intro or the video that you want. I know it's quite I've been recording this for like an hour now. I'm actually about to be chopping this down so you guys can chopping this down, doing my best to edit up and hide any sensitive information in order to try to show and explain to you guys that of how much of a pain it is, and I don't even know all the other stuff. Now, something else that you guys are probably wondering is how'd you get it to do those transitions? Actually, about to show you. What you just saw me do there is stretch out the timeline and video clips, so you have a bigger buffer kind of period before you do that. But what you can do is over here for your transitions, go over to here, and then one of the pieces that I was using was broken glass, and then can't drop it anywhere except for like on the video footage. So what you want is that, and then you want to click on modify. Normally it gives you an option right here to cross in. So actually, come on, give it to me. So we're going to undo. So place it there, and then should give you an option to modify it and allow it to cross over. So once you have that selected, it'll jump it over, it'll render, and then you can press play. We have it, so it'll display what you have going on right here and jump into the next one. But that's how you get your transitions. So if we go over to here, we can select what we want. This will let us choose how we want to go into it, put in more, how we want to do our transitions. For some of you, you're probably wondering, like the fade out option, like how do you get to fade to black and then fade back in? Well, that's this here. Okay, so it's not going to let you do the modify it wouldn't let me. So I'm going to come back down to over here, click this, put this into here, and we're going to drag it back to about here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn this volume down, and then we're going to go ahead and press play here, if I can get my mouse to work. But once it does that, it fades it out, and then it fades back in. That's how you get that whole fade. Now, something else that you guys probably noticed is that with some of these, right, some of these transitions, you have an option to drag them out, I believe. You should be able to. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So yes, you can make it longer, it looks like. So you can just go into the next one. That actually looks pretty freaking epic. So that's basically how you do that. I've rambled on long enough. I've got to head to bed. And this video footage will be releasing tomorrow, which is going to be today for you guys, Friday. I plan on making my video release schedule Monday and Friday. Mondays will be the long campaign story mode videos. Friday will be my shorter 20 to 30 minute videos of my online matches. I appreciate you guys coming out here to check this out. I appreciate the love and support of all the friends and family that I've got out there. And let's try to make it to 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. I would very much appreciate it. Again, shout out to Mocha, OnLap, Keystone Realty, Keystone Property, for all the support that they've been giving and all the help that they've been trying to provide. But this is pretty much the end of the video. I will see you guys around.